Hi, I'm Jen Gerard with AdBuzz here in Toronto for Ad Week in 2011. I'm here with Scott Prindle. We just finished a really big talk. He is the technology director at CP+B. Wow, I think a lot of heads just exploded in that room. You were talking a lot about mobile technology and how that's really coming about and becoming one of the main uses for strategy and really pushing communications. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Sure, yeah. A big part of what we've been doing at CP+B over the last couple of years is integrating digital to the center of our thinking, and a lot of that over the last few years has obviously centered around websites and work on the PC. And I've had the good fortune, I've been close to mobile for a while, back in the early 2000s and '99, and working with a couple of different clients that were starting to look at it. And so we've known this is coming. It's really been the next big thing for the last decade, and really over the last few years we've seen it ramp up, and in 2010 it really hit. And so now, mobile's starting to play a pretty significant role in everything that we're thinking about. And some of the stuff we talked about today that I presented, we're thinking about in a couple of different areas. One is it becomes, and I think this is pretty compelling, it becomes this bridge device between the physical and digital world. So we're seeing the emergence of things like QR codes, where you can scan a code and it transfers, essentially links information over. You can watch videos, you can play games. We're starting to see more information around near-field communications. There have been some releases about that this week. And then I talked a little bit about something that we did with Best Buy, where there was tone recognition, where you use your phone at the end of a movie sequence and it triggered different activities. So I think we're going to start to see the phone used. It's always with us. We have it when we're watching TV. We have it when we're in retail, and it will become this bridge device. Also, we see some great opportunities with digital gaming, just in terms of innovation. There's buzz to be had, I think, around that if you can create a compelling idea. And then also, probably most importantly, is just this idea now that we're very much in the multi-screen world. For 15 years or 10 years in the digital marketing space, it's all been focused on the PC and the laptop, and that sort of that screen size and that type of interaction. But with smartphones rolling out very quickly, and now we're going to see the same thing, I believe, with tablets this year. We have to factor that into our thinking and make sure that we're designing the right experience for the right device at the right time.
Now, you talked about how a lot of teams are also changing, and it's not just copywriter and art director anymore. Can you touch on that a bit as well? Because a lot of schools are still going semi with the foundations of copywriter, art director, accounts, and then media. How is that changing?
We see the core of the creative digital team as being generally 4 to 5 people, and it involves a couple of disciplines that are relatively new to the traditional advertising space. So one is technology, and that's the area where I focus. So we have people who write software and write code are now starting to make their way into the advertising environment. UX, experience designers, people who do wireframe design, they're designing the full interactive experience. So we're relatively new, and then we're partnering them with copywriter, art director, and then an account or a strategist type. And so we have those, we call them digital pods. They're sort of positioned alongside the traditional copywriter, art director pairings, and then we have all of those folks from the early stages of the brief through final delivery. So when we're concepting, we're getting traditional ideas that are going into TV and print, and we're also getting thinking around all of those all of the new digital channels, and mobile and social, and we're about to see connected TV. So that we feel strongly that core of 4 to 5 is the right team to make creative for the new digital world.
Wow, that's amazing. In regard to, we do a lot of work with students, and we like to educate students on some of the new stuff that's coming. Education is sometimes the hardest ship to turn around, and with so much coming out with digital and mobile, what advice can you offer to students that are the 19, 20, 21-year-olds that are trying to choose a school? What's one piece of advice you could really pass on?
Advice for choosing a school, or just advice for moving into the digital?
Into the industry.
Oh, advice for coming into the industry? One of the things about all of the new technologies that are rolling out, a lot of it's fairly accessible, and so a big part of digital culture at CP+B is making things, and make something, and you can make things relatively quickly, pulling together things from different software APIs and Twitter APIs and Google Maps APIs, and get it out there quickly and get feedback and then iterate. And so there's a big focus on making things. So if you're thinking about moving into the industry, some of the best candidates that I've seen come in from the technology side and the creative side have just shown their passion for the industry and their thinking strategically around the industry by making things on their own. It wasn't things that they had made for school. It's just because they were passionate and they did it as their own digital art project. But they were in their interviews they had things to show that were clickable and you could play around with. So I think that just the idea of making stuff is very important.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Scott. This is Jennifer Gerard with AdBuzz here at Adweek.
Thank you.